everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be an everyday makeup basket. So as I look at the products that I chose for the next 2 weeks, a good chunk of them, like 3/4 of them, are repeat products from the last 2 weeks. So I thought instead of going through each of them and giving you information on how I like to use them or what they're like, I thought I would just say what they are really quickly, just run through them, and then talk about the new items in rotation. And then if you want to know like my thoughts or anything more about the particular products that I was using for the past 2 weeks, you can go to my last everyday makeup basket, which I will link down below. And also, I've also done a makeup basket and review video where I've talked about my favorite products, so I will link that down below as well. So if you want more in-depth information, those would be the videos to go to, at least for the older products. But without further ado, let's get into all of the products that I chose for the next 2 weeks. So I'll start with all my base products. I first have my primers. The first one is the Spackle Mattifying Oil Control Under Makeup Primer by Laura Geller, and this is what I use for mattifying. And then if I want any smoothing, I will use the Smashbox Photo Finish Light Primer, and this is more of a lotiony consistency. Then for foundations, I have been mixing, as usual, the Garnier BB Cream and the Revlon Color Stay, both of which are for oily skin. Then I have all of my concealing products, so I'll start with my Pixie Under Eye Correction Concentrate in Brightening Peach, and this is just a salmon colored concealer. And then I will go in with my Maybelline Super Stay Better Skin Concealer, which I use for brightening under my eyes, and it just has a doe foot applicator. And then after I put those two on, I will go in with either one of these setting powders under my eyes. So I have the Tarte Smooth Operator Amazonian Clay Finishing Powder in the loose version, and then for a pressed powder, I have the NYX HD Finishing Powder in Banana. So this is more white, and this is more yellow toned. So after I put on all my base products, I will go in and prime my eyes, and I have the Too Faced Shadow Insurance, and this is just a little travel size. And then while I'm waiting for this to set, I will go in with my brow products. So I have the NYX Micro Brow Pencil, which is just basically a dupe for the Anastasia Brow Wiz. And then I will set that with my Brow Stylist Plumper from L'Oreal, and it's just a little tinted brow gel with fibers. So since most of my eye products and my cheek products are new for this next 2 weeks, I will skip ahead to setting and my eyeliner and my mascara. So after I've finished putting on the rest of my face with my cheek and my eye products, I will go in and set everything. So I'll start off by using my Physicians Formula Talc-Free Mineral Wear Powder, and this I will just set my entire face with, and then I will go in and spray the Infallible Pro Setting Spray from L'Oreal just all over my face. After I've set my face, I will go in with eyeliner, and as before, I have 4 different options. I have one liquid liner, which is the Jordana Fabuliner in black, which is a felt tip liner. I have 2 retractable eyeliners, one in brown and one in black, and these are the Physicians Formula Eye Trio eyeliners. Basically, they come in a pack of 3. And last but not least, if I want a gray liner, I have the Jordana 12-Hour Made to Last Liquid Eyeliner Pencil, which is just a sharpening eyeliner. And last but not least, I have my 3 mascaras. The first 2 that I have are more lengthening and sort of priming mascaras. They're not really primers, but I use them as primers. And I have the Wet n Wild Mega Length Mascara, and this just has a typical rubber bristle brush. And then the other one that I have is the NYX Skinny Mascara, which has this tiny little brush that like is really great for just combing any and every single lash that you have. And then for volumizing, which I will put on afterwards, I have the Falsies Flared from Maybelline. Now on to the items that are actually newer. So I'm going to go back to my eye products. So I always start out with a base. So I have actually, these are actually repeat products, but I have my tried and true Color Tattoo in Bad to the Bronze. This is just a really pretty taupey brown shade. I'm not sure if the camera's going to pick it up properly, but it's just a really nice shade. It has some shimmer in there. I really love the color tattoos. They've never done me wrong, and I actually finally finished one up very, very recently, so I'm on to the bad to the bronze shade. And then as a second option, if I want something lighter, I also have a ColourPop shadow in Onai. It's O-N-A-I. Tell me if I'm pronouncing that wrong. But this is just basically a really nice, like, white, like, cream shade. So if I don't want the look to be dark from the start, I will use something like this. And this actually has some, like, shimmer particles in it, but they're not super noticeable when you put something on top of it. But I liked using it for the past 2 weeks, so I wanted to give it some more love for the next 2 weeks. So for eyeshadows for the next 2 weeks, you guys probably know me by now, and you know that I like options. So I have given myself 3 options for eyeshadow, one of which is a repeat and 2 of which are new. So I'll talk about the repeat first. So the one that I am putting back in is my old Maybelline 8-pan palette, just because I have really been enjoying the orange shade. I'm not sure if I'm gonna use the other ones, but at least I would like to try and hit pan on this one. I'm setting myself, I guess, a little goal of trying to hit pan, possibly, you know, by the end of the month or something, but that's pretty much the reason why this is a repeat. And then as for the new eyeshadow palettes, I have 2 options. The first one is the Sonia Kashuk Ion Neutral Matte Palette, and I have been hearing so many awesome things about this palette. I bought it a couple months ago, didn't touch it, and I was like, you know what, you need to pull this thing out. So I decided to use it for the next 2 weeks and see what all the hype is about. So as you can see, it just has some awesome matte neutral shades, which, you know, there's a lot of good blending shades, a lot of good transition shades, so I'm really excited to start playing with this. And then for the pop of color that I have been missing for the past 2 weeks, because I did put something in, but it required more prep than I thought it was going to, which if you watch my makeup basket and review, I'm going to be talking about that. But in any case, I wanted another pop, like some options for matte pops of colors, or at least less glittery pops of colors. So I have last holiday season's Tarte palette, and as you can see, it just has a nice range of neutral shades, but it has, like, there's a pretty sparkly green in here, there's a bright purple, there's like a really nice shimmery shade, there's this really nice, like, pinky shade. Like, it's all neutrals, but there are some different looks that I can do with it, and this is, again, another thing that I really have not touched for pretty much a year, which I know is really bad, but I thought I would start giving this some more love, so that is the Tarte palette. And now on to my cheek products. So I'll start off with contour and bronzer, because that's typically what I would put on first before blush. So the first thing that I have is a new contour powder, which I am so totally stoked about. I've been swatching it a bunch on my hand, and I've even tested it out on my cheek, and it looks really good and really natural, which for me, for some reason, is hard to find, even though I have warm skin tones. Like, I don't know, I haven't been able to find one that works really well and blends really well, but this one is looking like a big keeper. And that is the Pixie Natural Contour Powder, and it's the Natural Contour Powder Shape and Shadow. But basically, this is just a completely neutral toned brown powder. And it, again, I've swatched it a bunch. I'll put a swatch on my hand. So I don't know if you're going to be able to see that. But basically, that's what it looks like, and on my skin tone, it's perfect, and it's not too dark. It shows up, which is another problem that I will have if it's not too dark, it's too light. So I'm super excited to start using this, and you guys will definitely be hearing one way or another how I feel about this, but I have a feeling it's going to be good. So for blush, I have 3 repeat items and 1 new item. So for cream blush, I have 2 repeats, and they are the Master Glaze Stick Blush from Maybelline, and this is just a really nice, let's see, I'll give you a swatch, really nice mauvey purple toned blush. And as you can see, it's really pigmented, but you can really, let me see if I can show you. You can really sheer it out. It almost has like a powder, like a cream to powder finish to it. Like, see, that really blended out, and it looks awesome under a lot of stuff. You just have to make sure that your eye look isn't too intense, because then that's just a lot of drama going on. I really like this blush. I just didn't give it a huge amount of love for the past 2 weeks, so I wanted to use it again. I wanted to give myself the chance to use it again, basically, for the next 2 weeks. And then the other cream blush that I have is the Sonia Kashuk blush in Blossom, and this was pretty much what I used for the past 2 weeks, and it's just, oh my god, it's such a nice, just peachy tone blush. I have this under another one of the blushes that I'm using again for the next 2 weeks right now on my cheeks. But yeah, it's just a super pretty pinky, like, I would almost say it's a neutral pink, but it's definitely got some warmth to it. I'm not even sure if you can see that. It's right there. Sorry, I can see why people have a hard time swatching, and I'm not flipping you off, I'm sorry. That is the cream blush, and it just looks really nice and pretty under a lot of blushes. For powder blush, I have two options. The first one I actually have on my cheeks today, as I said, and that is the Master Highlight by Face Studio by Maybelline. And this is just the mosaicked mauvey purpley blush that I put in for the last 2 weeks. And there goes the brush. So I'll just show you what it looks like. It's just a it could almost be a blush topper because of the sparkle in it, but it just is this really pretty mauvey, shimmery blush, as hopefully it will pick up in the light. There's a lot of shimmer in it, and it's very, very pretty, and I wanted to give it some more love. So that is the Maybelline blush. And then the new blush item that I have is the Milani Powder Blush in Romantic Rose. I'm so happy that I finally got my hands on these things. I've had this since last year, and I love it to bits. It doesn't even look like I've used that much, but I've used quite a bit of it. And this is just a nice peachy, pinky toned blush. I just wanted a neutral option, just because, I mean, this is shimmery and it's darker, and then this one is peachier and lighter, so I thought I'd give myself some options. So that is the Romantic Rose blush. Last but not least, we have my highlight products. So, as usual, I have my Benefit What's Up, and this is the cream highlight product that I will use as a base for any of the other highlights that I put on top of it, just because, like blush, I have a hard time getting things to stay on my face all day, so I like to put a cream base and then a powder on top of it. So I'll just show you what it looks like really quickly. I'm sure many of you have seen it, but it's just this really nice, like, champagne-y, almost has a little bit of pink in it. Sorry. But yeah, it's really nice, and it makes for a really nice base. And this little sample has a lot of product in it, by the way. So if you've ever wanted to try it, like, get your hands on the sample. And then for powder highlight to go on top of it, I have two options. As usual, I have the Wet n Wild Color Icon. I know I have a few other highlights, but this one just is a fail-safe for when I'm trying out new ones. So this one's probably going to show up in the next couple of makeup baskets, just because I know it works really well. And for a second highlight option, which is the new item, which is also my bronzer option, which you'll understand in a second, is the Park Avenue Princess Contour Palette, which has a bronzer, another blush, which I guess is another blush option, and then a highlight. So the story with this is that I received this in the mail like 3 days ago, and as you may or may not be able to tell, the highlight came smashed. I bought this off of Outlook, which is a flash sales site where basically every day there's new stuff coming onto the site, and the sale goes on for 3 or 4 days, and it's all discounted stuff. So like, I got this for at least 50% off, and if you've never heard of Outlook, go check it out. It's the only place where I will buy high-end makeup, like, where I can get an awesome discount. But in any case, makeup on that site is pretty much non-returnable. So when it came smashed, I emailed them immediately. I was like, hey, you know, this came smashed and it got into everything. Like, can I get some credits for something new or something? Like, because I know that they have a no return policy. And the woman who I was talking to, bless her heart, said, don't worry about it, we're just going to refund you, don't send it back, like just salvage what you can. So luckily I was able to repress it, and I'm especially happy because this highlight is super pretty. So I'll just swatch it for you if I can. So it's this shimmeriness right here. I hope that the camera is picking it up because it's just so pretty in person. But yeah, so that is another highlight option if I want something else a little bit, I guess, brighter, because there is a lot of shimmer in this. And then, like I said, there is also the bronzer option in here. And the reason why I say it's a bronzer, it is darker, but basically it's a little bit warmer tone, so I wouldn't necessarily use it in the hollows of my cheeks. I'm gonna try it out too, just to see. But it also has some shimmer in it, so I thought it might be a nice option for a bronzer to try out. That is the Tarte Park Avenue Princess Palette. I'm really excited about this. And that, my friends, is my everyday makeup basket. If you haven't seen one of these videos before, I don't typically do my lip products just because I tend to just choose them on the fly, and I just kind of want to give myself free reign of all my lipstick options personally. I know that not everyone does that. Some people like to choose specifically ones, but I like to keep it open. But in any case, let me know of what you think of the format of just talking really quickly about repeat products, because for people who have seen my past makeup baskets, I don't want to bore you guys. But for people who are new, I don't want you guys not to know what I'm using. So I would love your feedback on that. And of course, thank you very much if you made it through this video, because I know these can be kind of long. And of course, give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe if you have not already, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye!